Hi everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing another foundation for you, and this foundation is about the polar opposite of the last foundation I reviewed, which was the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. That was a super lightweight, medium coverage foundation. Today's foundation is super full coverage, super long wearing. It's the new Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. So this is a Sephora exclusive. This is Kat Von D, it's a Sephora brand, and it is $34 at Sephora. So the packaging, it comes in a round, kind of skinny tube, and it has a depressor on the top. And when I first saw the packaging, it immediately reminded me of my Skin 79 BB cream, and it has that same depressor. But the thing I like better about this packaging is when I'm using this, I never know, because it's a pretty hefty weight and I can't see how much product is left in it. So just one morning I will be going to use it and nothing will come out. So what's nice is that you actually see the product inside. So as you're going to use it up, you're going to be able to see the product going away. So some claims about the foundation. It is said to have just be super pigmented. I think they're saying it's 21% pigmentation. It's supposed to have a matte finish and be 24-hour, long-wearing, transfer resistant. It's also oil-free, fragrance-free, and paraben-free. There are 14 different shades, and I am the lightest, which is 42, and I tried 42 and 44 on, and there was actually a big difference between the two, and I always prefer to go a little bit lighter because I find that's easier to work with, and this will be perfect for me in the winter time. I did want to show you guys one thing, especially for fair ladies. I'm going to compare, just show a quick swatch of the lightest shade of this foundation and also the lightest shade of the Urban Decay Naked Skin, just so you can see the difference between the two. Alright, so these are the two lightest shades from both ranges. So right here is the Urban Decay Naked Skin, and then here's the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo. So you can see just how much lighter the Kat Von D. So if you're really fair-skinned and have trouble finding a match, this might be a nice option for you, something. And then I'm also, why I have you up close, I'm just going to show you the difference between spreading it out. So you can see that just how much more pigmented this Kat Von D one is, so that's that 21% pigmentation they're talking about. Alright, so that's the basics of the foundation. Now I'm going to go into the demonstration and show you how this applies right onto bare skin, and then after that I will go in and share some of my opinions. So I'm starting with a bare face, and I went back and forth on which way to apply it, and I decided to go with the Beauty Blender because that's how I have gotten this foundation to work for me. So that's what I'm going to show you today, and I'm just going to start with one pump of the product on the back of my hand. So one full pump, and that's going to be enough to cover the entirety of my face. So this is a Beauty Blender. If you've not seen one before, it's just a makeup sponge that you soak with water and then you squeeze out the excess and just leave it damp. So I'm just going to take the bottom part of the Beauty Blender and just start getting a little bit of product on it. And then I'm just going to start dotting that all over my face. When I was using a brush, I found that a really dense kabuki brush with synthetic fibers worked the best for me. I think it was the Sigma F80 that I found worked the best, but when I was using the brush, I had to make sure to work in quadrants of my face. So I would start with the cheek and get that all fully blended because this product dries really quickly and it's not easily movable. So that's why the Beauty Blender works the best for me, because it shears it out just a little bit and just makes it easier to work with. I did try a couple other brushes. I tried the Real Techniques buffing brush, and that one was just way too flimsy. The bristles have too much give, so it wouldn't push the product around on my face. I had a hard time moving it around. Because this is just a hair light, I am going to make sure to take it down my jaw and then down my neck a bit as well. The first day that I applied this, I applied way too much. I think I did a full 2 pumps, which for my face at least is completely unnecessary. And by the end of the day, I saw that, you know, it had settled into like the larger pores around my nose, and it just looked really bad and almost mask-like. So if you use the right amount of this product, it's going to give you that beautiful, full, flawless coverage. But if you use just a little bit too much, it's going to really just look cakey and unnatural. So this is my face with one pump of the product. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this same foundation and just take a little bit. I'm going to use this as my under eye concealer, and then I'm going to blend it out with the tip of the Beauty Blender. Alright, so here is my face completely applied with the foundation, and also using the foundation as my under eye concealer, and then I did just take it around a little bit around my nose where I have a lot of redness. So that is, I would not add concealer to this foundation at all. I probably will use like a highlighting brightening pen underneath my eye just because of my dark circles, but I don't feel like the little couple bumps I have down here, I feel like those are covered enough for my taste, and around my nose, the redness around my nose is taken care of. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my face, and then I'll come back and share some of my thoughts about the foundation with you. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and share some of my opinions about the foundation. The first is the coverage, and I think that this foundation really comes through when it says that it's full coverage. A full coverage foundation to me means that I don't have to go back in with additional concealers. And so what you're seeing now is just the foundation. I didn't have to add any concealer around the redness around my nose, and I also didn't have to do any spot concealing. So this foundation really helped camouflage redness and any kind of breakouts that I had. So for coverage, I think it's awesome. The foundation also claims to be a 24-hour long wearing foundation. I have not worn it for 24 hours, nor would I want to wear a foundation for 24 hours, but it does get me through an 8-hour workday, and I think it still looks good at the end of that. That's not to say that I don't have to use some blotting papers. I do have really, really oily skin, so probably once a day, like after lunch, I do like to take a blotting paper and just remove any excess oil. But this foundation, I haven't had it oxidize on me, it doesn't disappear, and it hasn't broken me out even when I'm wearing it for a long period of time. So coverage and wear time are both really good. And the finish of this is a matte finish, and that's what it claims to be, but I don't think it's like a dead powdery matte finish. I find it's more of a soft matte finish, but because it is that full coverage, I do think that, you know, using a really pretty blush and a little bit of a contour really help, because when something is so full coverage, it has the tendency to make your skin and face just look a little bit one-dimensional. So highlighting and just a really pretty blush really help this foundation just look a little bit more natural. Moving into some of the cons. The first time, like I said when I was showing you in the demonstration, I applied way too much, and I felt like it settled into pores. It kind of gave me the cake face. So if you use too much of this, it's not going to be good. But if you can stick to that, find that perfect amount for you. My perfect amount really is just that one pump. That is all I need to cover my entire face and to do any type of concealing. So I would recommend not putting too much, or you will get a little bit of that cake face. Probably my biggest struggle with this foundation, and why I've been wearing this for about 2 weeks, and it took me a little bit longer to form all my opinions about it than other foundation I've reviewed, and it's because it's really hard to blend. And it kind of reminds me of the Revlon Color Stay, where you have to work in sections of your face because it'll dry. You can't just, you know, dot it around and then easily blend. You really have to work. I'm going to do my cheek now and fully blend it, then I'm going to move to my forehead. I tried it with a bunch of different brushes. The best one that I could find was, you know, the Sigma, the really dense kabuki type brushes. But even those, I still had to work. You know, I'm just going to do my cheek now and finish it. For me, the Beauty Blender really helps this look a little bit more natural on my skin. It shears it out just a bit, but I still get all that coverage. So if I could recommend one thing, it would be to use a primer underneath this foundation. And the primer is not to help the lasting power. This foundation does that fine, but it's really to kind of create like a little bit of a barrier between your skin so that foundation can go on more smoothly and it'll be easily blendable. As I've mentioned, my skin is really oily, so I don't have trouble with drying, you know, foundations drying my skin out. And I don't think this foundation will dry your skin out, but if you do have any dry patches, any kind of foundation with this much coverage, it's gonna cling a little bit. And so I did experience that one day with this foundation. So if you have dry patches, I would be a little wary about this foundation. So overall, this foundation did exactly what I wanted it to. I was looking for a super full coverage. I wanted that, you know, really pale flawless skin. So when I want to wear like a bright red lip, something like that, that's the kind of foundation that I'm looking for. This is not going to be a foundation I would say like everyone should go run out and try. If you have some serious skin issues that you need that full coverage, this is something I would look into. Also, if you want that just full flawless, that's the look that you love, this foundation is going to give it to you. This is not going to be something I use every day. I'm much more comfortable with a more medium coverage foundation for day-to-day wear. But this is going to be perfect for special occasions. It has no SPF, so you're not going to have to deal with flashback from a camera, and it's going to give me that really full, flawless look. So I know that this was a ton of information and I kind of said it all quickly. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.